Hello, friends, and welcome to our streaming services. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, subscribe so that you can get notified when we have new videos. If you are here on Zoom, drop a hello in the chat. We'd love to say hi back to you. Today's sermon is Self-Care, Community Care, and Active Hope with Renée Brill. Stick around afterwards as well for Talkback, where we talk about the sermon topic and share in community with each other. I think, considering the timing and the topic, today will be very special. So consider going to Talkback today at 11:15. And as always, we have Adult RE at 1 p.m. All right. There is only one announcement this week. In case you haven't heard, our dear friend Richard Thompson has passed away this week. It's honestly hard to even imagine having church without him. This church meant so much to him, and he meant so much to this church. So I know that we all share in the sadness of his loss together. So if you need to talk to someone, please contact our pastoral care team. They will be more than happy to work with you, talk to you, and help you through this. Just email pastoralcare@oakcliffuu.org. You can also join our social hour on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. and Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and Fridays at 9 p.m. If you're needing some love from your UUCOC family. All right, so that really is all I've got for you today. If you go ahead and check your e-blast for updates, news, and meeting schedules. And I love you all so much. I am so grateful to be a part of this incredible church family. And I hope that you all have a very happy Sunday. Bye-bye.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff. Thank you for having the curiosity and the courage to join us. Thank you, whoever you are, whatever spiritual tradition, gender, age, race, sexual orientation, or background you may bring to our community. We hope you will find here comfort, connection, challenge, respect, and above all, love.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, spirit of love, compassion, and forgiveness.
And now in Spanish. Que esta luz que ahora encendemos nos inspire a usar nuestros dones y poderes para sanar y no para herir, para ayudar y no para impedir, para bendecir y no para maldecir, para servirte a ti, espíritu de amor, compasión y perdón.
A Renewed Hope for This World by Nathan Ryan. Be it real or metaphor, whatever is in your backpack or your briefcase or your purse that you've brought into this sanctuary that is weighing you down, leave it behind. Whatever you are carrying that is keeping you distracted or caught up in shame or guilt or hopelessness, leave it behind. If you need it, it will be there when we're done. But for this hour, just let it go. Come into this place with open hearts. Come into this place with a soul that has remembered how to be tender again. Come into this place with a renewed hope for this world. Come into this place ready to build a world we've always been worthy of and have always dreamed of.
We please join me in affirming our covenant to one another. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance and service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together.
And now in Spanish. ¿Por qué nos amamos uno al otro? Honramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la mudancia de la vida en el servicio a entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y aceptación. Así que hacemos pacto.
At this time in the service, we take time to share what is in our hearts and on our minds. If your heart is heavy today, know that you do not have to carry your burden alone. Your heartache is a shared sorrow. A shared sorrow is a sorrow halved. Please share your sorrows publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat or send them to our Facebook Messenger or speak them aloud.
When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love.
This Sunday, like every Sunday, we reaffirm our promise to one another. Our promise makes clear the call to celebrate. For that which brings you joy, makes you grateful, brings you peace, we, your sacred community, celebrate. We celebrate together and magnify joy, heighten gratitude, and spread ever-increasing peace. Please share your joys publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat or send them to our Facebook Messenger or speak them aloud.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the steps of compassion, blow in the wind.
As you know, in anticipation of our 60th anniversary celebration on May 23rd, we have been looking back at the often amazing history of this, the first Unitarian Universalist church in the world. Toward the end of 2009, we added another staff person, Reverend Marcia Shannon, who provided support for Reverend Waltz in the pulpit and took the helm as our Director of Religious Education. We began holding regular Wednesday evening Vespers services in 2011. Member Jan Brubaker arranged a second Wednesday Speakers Forum featuring presentations and Q&A with speakers such as the Executive Director of the Texas ACLU and the representative of Lambda Legal, Downwinders at Risk, and the Texas Freedom Network. Also in 2011, member Vicki Johnson, another ordained minister, started an LGBT plus allies group. Throughout this time, the Labyrinth Walk Coffee House, led by member Jean Daly, hosted local and national singer-songwriters monthly and drew music lovers from all over the area to our church. Our annual vaudeville night provided good fun, an opportunity for members and friends to showcase their many talents, and became a favorite fundraising event. Speaking of music, internationally known musician Phil Jones presented several hands-on interactive worship services, bringing his didgeridoo and sound vibrational therapy to our pulpit. It's probably not hard to picture our entire congregation in a snake dance around the sanctuary at the end of one of his exhilarating services. This time also saw us host our first UUCOC Kids Summer Peace Camp. In 2011, we celebrated our 50th anniversary with great joy and jubilant festivities. January 22nd, 2012, Reverend Waltz experienced a profoundly serious medical emergency, which took him away from his duties for several months and demonstrated just how amazing this congregation is. Services continued under lay leadership until he was able to return to a somewhat less hectic schedule. Stay tuned as we continue our march toward the big celebration. Mark your calendars for our milestone 60th anniversary celebration on May 23rd and our first combined in-person and online gathering. Have a good week.
Over the last few years, the term self-care has come into common usage. There's a growing sentiment that burnout is actually a real thing, as it turns out, and it's a growing problem. And the prescribed solution to that problem is self-care. We're told that taking time to relax and refresh, to get enough sleep and regular exercise and a healthy diet and a little pampering, that is what it takes to make us more resilient in the face of stress and overwork. And that's at least partially true. Those things will help. But the proponents of self-care are leaving some things out. First, there's the fact that their recommendations are often financially out of reach for a growing number of Americans. And more, when I hear the term self-care, it's not used to advocate working less so that you have time to care for yourself. More and more, when I hear people talk about self-care, self-care is being used as a tool to enable people to work even harder, or as a means of blaming people for their own burnout. We talk about self-care as though the solution to burnout is to add a to-do list of self-care to your already overwhelming to-do list. Self-care, in some ways, has become the thing we talk about instead of talking about overwork. Instead of talking about how burnout is a product of the culture that asks us to work more than is humanly possible, and in return, pays us less than we need to thrive. Burnout is the product of a culture that values production over people, results over human lives, profits over a higher return. Burnout is not treating the people doing the work as though they matter as much as the work they're doing. Self-care has become the thing that we talk about instead of talking about why we have to work so hard to make ends meet. It's what we talk about instead of talking about a living wage, affordable housing, affordable healthcare, the fact that we don't have a scarcity of healthcare or housing or money. We have a distribution problem. We have a hoarding problem. But we don't have a not work enough problem. There's plenty of people who are working 2 jobs and long hours and are still struggling to make ends meet. The essential workers who've been stocking our shelves and helping us and continuing to go through the pandemic, a lot of them still can't afford to make their basic needs met because we've decided that although their services are essential, they, the people, we don't treat like they're essential. Self-care might help us to deal with the symptoms of stress, but it doesn't offer an actual solution to the underlying causes of our stress. The things that stress me out the most are the things I can't solve on my own, from climate change, healthcare, affordable housing, living wages, the growth of white nationalist terrorism, the continued police terrorism inflicted on communities of color. No amount of self-care is going to fix those problems. And I don't think that self-care is intended to make me okay with those problems, okay with the world burning around me. But even the tendency to overwork is so ingrained in our society that even activists trying to address these issues are also burning out. Burnout is not the result of not caring enough about yourself. Burnout is the result of not valuing people and instead valuing only the work they can do, the money they can produce. It is a system that values profit over human lives. And as long as human lives are treated as secondary, there will always be less than what we need. That is also the problem with many of our other systemic problematic issues. For climate change, profit is put ahead of the basic necessities of life, like clean water and clean air and a stable sea level, are put ahead of the needs of people. And human lives are treated like an expense or a risk, and a risk that many companies have been willing to take. For healthcare and affordable housing, those are treated as something that you have a right to make as much of a profit on as possible. And so even drugs that have been out of the copyright for a long time, like insulin, which has been given away for free from the discoverer, is now $50, $60, $100, $1,000. Profits, again, put in place of human life. Houses are allowed to sit empty because they are worth more as a property than the human lives who could fill them. This is the real root source of these problems. It is where burnout comes from. It is from not valuing you, your humanness, your needs, the things that make human life beautiful and wonderful and worth sharing, are treated like extras. Sometimes I think that self-care is really just the word we use for basic human needs when we recognize that not everyone has been allowed to afford them. Now, these problems are collective. The problems of healthcare, affordable housing, white nationalist terrorism, police violence, they're collective. We share responsibility for them. And so self-care, the individual solution, is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for instead is a collective solution. Burnout, the solution to burnout, is not really self-care. It is community care. The solution to burnout is to make sure that at every step of the way, people matter. Their needs matter, and they matter first. We don't think that people are less important than the work that we do. The foundation of a resilient community is based on two things: that every individual person matters, and that we are deeply interconnected with one another. I need you, and you need me. If you hurt, I hurt. That is the kind of interdependence that we need. The recognition that if you don't have your basic human needs met, that is not enough. I'm not satisfied by that. What does this look like in our communities and in our organizations? Well, community care is a growing perspective in the activist community that the organizations we build as we seek liberation should not mimic those oppressive systems that value production over human life. Community care is the idea that activism shouldn't require us to put the work of our own needs above our own needs, or to martyr ourselves in the search for a new and better world. Community care is an organization that treats the better world like it can happen right now within our walls. An organization that practices community care isn't going to have meetings so long that mothers can't attend them or parents can't attend them. It's not going to have meetings that take place over lunch hour, leaving everyone hungry. Community care isn't going to ask people not to take a vacation because this new thing is just an emergency. Community care recognizes that a part of protesting, a part of activism, is taking care of one another. Community care means when we protest, we bring food, we bring water, we bring medics. We plan to meet the needs of our compatriots. That's what we need. What does that look like for you? What does that look like for our community? For me, it means that we can give a big welcome. Welcome, let us be safe here. Welcome, I can hear you and recognize your heart. Welcome, I'm not going to ask you to sit through 2 hours of a service. Welcome, let's be together. Our to-do list is not more important than the relationships that we build. And those relationships, those are what sustain us. The knowledge that we're not alone. The knowledge that we're working on it together. That there's a growing number of us working on it together. That is true self-care, actually. The true self-care to me is working for affordable healthcare, because I need that. True self-care to me is working to end police violence. I need that. The ways that we are coming together and being activists doesn't require us to deny our basic human needs. Instead, it asks us to live into them. Liberation is based on the fundamental belief that your life matters and that so does everyone else. That you and I and we deserve the full human beauty of what a life can be, regardless of how much work we have to give to the world. What I can give you and what you can give is human connection and love and care. And together, we can build a better world. Thank you.
One more step, we will take one more step till there is peace for us and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word, one more prayer. We will say one more prayer till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer, one more song. We will sing one more song till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. To make an offering or your pledge, please go to oakcliffuu.org/donate and follow the links.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
Be About the Work by Andrea Hawkins Camper. May we see all as it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For if not us, who? If not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice with the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of the history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do. And this is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge. To be the living embodiment of our principles. To be about the work of building the beloved community. To be a people of intention and a people of conscience.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And now in Spanish. Encendimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
Come and go